been telling you for a long time that I'm going to get a shop, and now I have it. I had to do some work on it to close off the wall in between that here and the weightlifting gym next door. Okay, here it is. Emptied out. They finally got their crap emptied out. You can hear the gym over there. But I've got to close this part in, so I'm going to cut a hole in it to see how they actually framed it so I can recreate that portion of it. But as far as like the shop portion of it goes, man, I love this. This is freaking awesome. I'm going to have to put a little lighting in it because it's not real bright, but I'm going to love this little space. Got this little shop. I was looking at this garage door and I was doing some temperature measurements, and it was like 104, 105. So let's look at it now. 73 degrees where I've put insulation. I just cut board and put it up there, and then when I look at the top, I'm finishing that off today, 94 degrees. So it's a huge difference, 20-degree difference between here and there, and instead of being like a hot plate, it's actually reflecting the cool air back in. So man, that's awesome. Just finishing up on the wall. I'm about to put some primer on it. That is as good as it's going to get. I had to do some work on it to close off the wall in between that here and the weightlifting gym next door. Sometimes you'll hear a thump, thump, thump from the music. That's where that's coming from. It's not mine. However, I was going to go ahead and show you, give you the $10 tour of what the shop looks like. It's not huge, but it is air conditioned and it's nice inside and it's flat, and I've been enjoying it. So let's take a look. I finished insulating the garage door because this thing was a hot plate, and I've got a little bit left over here on the door. I put a small portable AC and I ran the vent outside just to supplement some cool air in here. I've got a couple racks over here holding parts to be installed, water. I've got my little Milwaukee fridge, some decorations. I bought a inexpensive, really, Craftsman toolbox and a Craftsman workbench, just because they were a lot cheaper than the Milwaukee, and for this will be just fine. That door goes into my wife's hair salon, and we do not want to go in there because I don't want to listen to it. And here's the Jeep, the JK. I've got it on skates. I can move it around, which is nice. I've got enough room actually to move two vehicles in here. Here's a little clip of my middle son detailing Jennifer's car with the Jeep in here. Well, I did get the air conditioner installed last night about midnight. I put a vent through the wall with Ronnie's permission. Looks really good. And if you wondered if I could get two cars in here, you absolutely can, even with the doors open. There's Zach. Zach attack! My middle. He's detailing Jennifer's car, because she doesn't for sure. So the Lexus is getting cleaned up. The Jeep has not gotten started on yet, but it is the next project, and I'm almost done. Let me see if I can hold it up there. I'm almost done with that wall over there. I'm going to paint and prime it, and it's looking really good. So I'm super happy with the space. Two cars. It is hot right now, but this is super cool. I got some banners put up, Toyota and Jeep. Super cool. So I'm real happy with the space. I think it's going to do real well for me. I put up lights. I'll put a link down below. Those are those inexpensive LED lights I got on Amazon. Like 4-pack was like 40 bucks, and they're super bright, way brighter than, say, that fluorescent. When that goes out, I'll put another one up or two. But I'm very happy with the space that I have right now. This is my redneck water line. I ran it off of the back of the toilet. I just ran a hose over to this end here. I don't use a hose that often, but for like wet sanding or washing a vehicle or something, I needed water, so I went ahead and ran that over. It has a garage door opener, and I installed a remote control opener where the regular box was, and it works like a champ. So super happy with that. So that's my little shop. It's got room for two vehicles, some tools, and that's about all I really need. It's not inexpensive. It's about $900 a month, but being able to work in the middle of the night or on weekends or inclement weather and have air-conditioned space, it's really super cool. One of the biggest problems that I had, right, when I'm trying to restore a Jeep is where am I going to put all the parts when I need to prep it? What am I going to do with all that? So this gives me plenty of room to be able to disassemble, take the parts off, get ready to paint, and that's going to be the goal of doing the JK. Is going to be the first project that I tackle post new shop. And I'll just take a minute and tell you where I'm at on restoring a Jeep JK as far as like the paint goes. On a full complete paint job. That's where we're starting out right here, right now, today. Oh yes, the old JK. It's got low miles, runs like a top, and the body is in not that great a condition. We're going to be changing colors from black to white because I just think white with a black top looks way better than black with a black top. Got new fender flares, got the doors to come off. At this point, the disassembly process starts. One of the first things I'm going to do is take the hood off. I think I'm going to take it back to my house and just do the hood by itself. And I've got a new fender for this side where it's dented up. Most of them get dented right here when the strap gets broken for the door or falls off and the door flips back and hits it. Stupid design. That's not that big a deal, but this got crunched pretty dang well right in here. So I've got a new fender over there in the corner, and I'm just going to replace this fender. Now when you start looking at a Jeep, take the doors off, take the hood off, there's not a lot that you have to paint, really. Think about this little strip, then go around. So most of it's some prep work. I got to take the rest of the top off, take the doors off and disassemble them, right? And then take the windshield out. I've got the new windshield, finally, that isn't broken. And I'll be taking this off soon and the windshield wipers, and then we'll be off to the races as far as like painting the Jeep. So I'm hoping to make quick work of getting some white paint on this Jewel, new fender flares on it, and be driving it the rest of the summer. That's my goal. All these Torx bits have to come out, and thankfully none of them are really locked up. They seem to be all fairly loose. I like to take them and put them in a plastic bag so you can tell where they're at, and I'm probably going to powder coat these because I can just put them on a plate, bake them all real quick, and it'll turn out looking really nice. Taking the hood off, I don't know, these look kind of nasty, so we'll see how those come off. But I'm excited to have the shop. I think it's going to help a lot. Alright, I got everything stripped off of the hood in its own little hermetically sealed baggie, so I won't lose any nuts and bolts, and I actually got these with the breaker bar, these bolts to loosen up. I'll have to figure out if those hinges are actually black on the white trucks or if they're black on the white trucks or white on the white. You know what I'm saying? I don't know from the factory what color those were, but it's got some nastiness in it. But I did get the Torx bits to loosen up, so I got to take those four off, and then the hood's ready to come off, and I'm going to take it home with me. As far as like doing a Jeep paint job, I've always felt that the hood is the most important thing you can do. And it's got a couple little dings, so I'm going to primer the outside of it to make sure that there's no dings or dents or anything, and wet sand it down, and spend a little bit of extra time on the hood, because that's the most noticeable part about any paint job on a Jeep. Everything else, you know, you can touch up relatively easy, but the hood, once you mess it up, I got to see a little ding right here. Now thankfully it's going to be white, so it won't show as bad as this black hood has any imperfections in it, but I still want to make it as nice as possible. So I'm about to pull the hood off and go from there. This hinge right here has quite a bit of corrosion underneath it. I don't know if I'm going to replace it or grind it off and paint it, but it's off, so that's awesome. Okay, I got all the bolts out and the antenna base plate off and everything. It should be ready to just fall off from here. And there she blows. The mangled fender. Beautiful. I went ahead and took off the other front fender on the driver's side, and let me show you why. I think it might be a good idea while you're doing a paint job just to go ahead and yank off both of the front fenders. First of all, it's really super easy. There's like 10 bolts and it just comes right off. Not hard at all to remove the fenders on a JK. And there's another reason. There's a little bit of rust here that I'd like to treat. Maybe a little bit up here. You can see the crap that fell out. Taking the fender off, the garbage that was up underneath there, so that's nice, getting that out of it. And when you're painting the jambs down below, right in here, the fender covers that, so it'll be nice to be able to paint white in here and get that covered the whole way. Well, that's going to be about it for today. I got a lot accomplished the first day working in the new shop. I'm super happy with it. Next video will be glass removal. Take off the rear fender flares, start stripping down the doors, possibly painting the hood, or at least working on the hood. I got to paint the inside of it, so I can go ahead and do that. That's not real critical. But I will say this, I'm super happy with at least moving forward with the project rather than sitting in my driveway. Any questions, comments, post them below. I appreciate you being a subscriber. We're moving along with this thing. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.